Okay, so thank you all for coming today. Oh, there are lots of seats just randomly spread. Come on in, have a seat. Have a seat. We're a nice, cozy room, which is great because it was chilly in here. So now we're warming it up. So level up your teaching from good to great. That's what we're here to do. But I have to be honest with you. I don't consider myself a great teacher. I think I'm a good teacher, but I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to become a better teacher. Okay. And so that's what we're all here to do, right? Oh, let me turn this on mute. Okay. Zoomies, I'm here for you. If you have any questions, just type it in the chat, or any comments, type it in the chat. Make sure you're engaged and focused. But really, we're just all here. If we can get a couple of teaching tips, then I would call this session a win. Okay, so I'm really hoping that there's going to be a lot of participation so that I can get a couple of teaching tips so that I can also call this session a win. Okay, I'll be sharing many things that I do, but then also there's going to be a lot of collaboration. I had here an easel with paper, and I was hoping that I would have a bigger room and we could make it a little more collaborative. It's not. So like any good teacher, we're just going to make it work, right? Okay. So I wanted to start off and let you know this. Oh, hold on. Okay. So are you stuck in good enough teaching? We're not trying to just be good enough, right? So let's push beyond good enough and let's create great classrooms where we want to go to every day. Let's create a position where we love our jobs, where we are kind of bummed out that we're here this week because we love our jobs so much and wish we were back home, right? That's going to be the goal in teaching. Okay, so did you guys get this? Look at the points. So the Department of Adult Education Reform. No. Anyone concerned? Did you guys not get this? No? April Fools. Has anyone else pulled an April Fool's Day joke on you today? Or have you pulled an April Fool's Day joke on anyone else? Okay, right? We need to, I used AI to actually create this, and then AI. So I'm like, I want to do an April Fool's Day joke on some teachers that I'm presenting to. And so then it said, you should do this. And then I'm like, it's like, create an official looking memo. And so I didn't want to create an official looking memo. So I'm like, create this memo for me. And I don't know if you read this, but I mean, this was just like, there was a lot of gibberish in here, which is why we need to take AI sometimes with a grain of salt, right? But I thought that it did an okay job. I enjoyed the April Fool's Day joke. So I'm a little bummed that I'm not in class right now giving April Fool's Day jokes to my students. Hey, welcome. Okay, anyone, what is an April Fool's Day joke that you could do to your students? Anyone want to share? Okay, we're bringing the microphone back because we've got our Zoomies online. What's your best April Fool's Day joke for your students?
Oh, okay. I don't know about best, but I give them a spring crossword, or not crossword, word search, and they can't find any of the words. And so the first word is usually April, and then they're like, I've searched all over, I can't find it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to get my email, and you'll have my email, and I want you to send us that word, send me that word search, and I will send it to all of you. Okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, anyone else have an April Fool's Day joke that you could play on your students? Anyone online, Zoomies? Let's see here, pop quizzes. And then we have hello from Mississippi, hello from Georgia, Delaware. Welcome. So glad you're here. Any other April Fool's Day jokes? Yes.
You may have seen this before, but you can give them a very lengthy questionnaire or worksheet, and the directions say, read all the questions before answering anything. And then the very last question says, don't answer any of the questions. Just write your name at the top of the paper, turn it over, and sit there and wait. And yeah, they don't love it too much.
And then do you say April Fools? Okay. So we would love if you would send that to me and I'll send it to everyone else. Find something like that. Any other good jokes you could play on your students? Come on in. We've got a few random seats in here. No? No other ones? Okay. So Kathleen says, when I taught developmental math, I added a link in their LMS, so learning management system, and said, answer key for final exam. And Rick rolled them. Look at that. I bet they just love that. Oh man, kind of makes me want to think. So I have a YouTube channel and I kind of want to say like, here are the answers for all the official answers for the GED test. Dang it. Why didn't I think about that yesterday? I love the snow. I live in Wyoming. This morning, my daughter, she is 9. We were FaceTiming. She showed me the window and it had snowed. And she's like, we have a snow day. And I was so jealous. And then she told me April Fools. So, but we really need to add humor into our classes, right? How can we by adding humor, it will help our teaching and our classes go from good to great. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to just pair up with a couple people that are around you and share one teaching technique you rely on that has really just sort of become your comfort zone, right? Your comfort zone. So chat for just a minute with the folks around you and friends online. Tell us what some of your comfort zone things are. Okay, so I'll give you just a minute to do that. Okay. All right. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. Okay. I did a session before and then I was just like trying to raise my voice and nothing happened. So I feel like that's a great technique. So I'll do that a couple more times. Okay. So when you signed up for this session, there was a poll, and I don't know if you took the poll or not, but I had on there your best teaching tips. Remember, because this isn't just for me, right? Or this isn't just for you. I'm here to learn as well. So these are some of the tips that you said. So be patient, preparation, be prepared for whatever, right? We know that in adult education, the whatever is definitely important, right? Build relationships, make relationships, persistence for sure. patience, humor, communication, create paths to achievement, positivity, have an open question portion, right? Our students have a lot of questions. Start with data. Don't give up. Be kind. Teach to your learner's learning style. Honesty, smile, pace yourself. This one, relax, 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 right? We need that for sure. Be flexible. Don't take too many things personal from your students. I don't know about you, but I didn't get a degree in counseling. And sometimes I get a lot, our students have so many rich, deep, sad stories, and it makes it hard. So we really have to think about how we're helping them get out of that and into the better life. So we can't take too much of that home. And let the students lead when possible. I love that. Thank you to all of you that added that. Okay, so then I also had on there created, based on what you said, a word cloud. I don't really like the way that it's created it. It's missing a few, but we have My Network, textbooks, internet, essential ed. Oh, these are your favorite teaching resources. Burlington, a study buddy. Study buddies are very good. That, just a friend that you can study with. Chat GTP, School AI, and then I think that one is just NA. I don't know. So a few great resources, right? And I'll go over some of my favorite resources as well. Okay, so a little bit about me. I don't know, have any of, raise your hand if you know who I am. If you've seen me, know, like maybe we've met, maybe we haven't, maybe you've met me online, even though I don't know who you are, but that's okay. All right, so I have a master's degree in education. I also did the CELTA certification in ESL. I have 14 years experience of teaching adult education, all levels, beginning, ESL, ELL, all the way up through the higher level HSE classes. I've done it all, right? That's what sometimes in adult ed we do. And I'm also a keynote speaker. Okay, so if you are in a state where you have a state conference or a regional conference, you can get my card. I would love to come and be a keynote speaker in your state or region. Okay, so I'm located in Wyoming, and Wyoming was not always performing as well as we are now. So when I started, Wyoming was ranking 35th in measurable skills gains. And we, over the last couple of years, we brought in some folks and we really redesigned Wyoming. And so now Wyoming actually leads the nation in high set pass rates. And Wyoming ranks 5th in measurable skills gains. And my program, we have surpassed all of our MSG benchmarks since 2016. So Wyoming is doing a fabulous job, and I'm located in Rock Springs. We're one of the big cities. You've probably heard of it, right? So Rock Springs, we have about 25,000 people, but in Wyoming terms, the whole state has about 500,000 people. And so, we're one of the big cities, but I'm one of the lead teachers in my program, and yeah, we're doing some great things in cowboy country over there. Okay, so a little bit about myself personally. I'm a mom and a wife. I have a little cat, and I'm an avid baker and cake decorator. This picture, we have a graduation. Do y'all have a graduation ceremony? Okay, good, because that is one thing you can do to level up your teaching, to go to great. Students love it. It's the best part of my job. So here I am at our graduation, or before our graduation ceremony, and I made cupcakes for everyone. Lots and lots of cupcakes. Come on in, we've got plenty of seats. Also, I enjoy exploring the outdoors. Okay. So some of you may have heard of my YouTube channel. Raise your hand if you are teaching ABE or HSE, like GED high set prep. So a lot of you, okay, this is something that you're really gonna wanna know, okay? So it's called Purely Persistent. That's what my YouTube channel is, okay? And I have tons and tons of resources on there to help your students. Okay, so I receive positive comments every single day from people that it just really helps prepare them for their test. And I think that if you can combine your local education program with Purely Persistent, it will really help your students get through a little bit more, because we know that as teachers, we're limited, and this is online, always ready for you. So I have content on my YouTube channel for teachers, also students, and it's not just someone off the street creating content, right? I'm an adult ed teacher with 14 years experience. It's free, and I have over 35,000 subscribers. How big did I say my community is? 25,000. So I can't even tell you, but I hit 25,000. It's bigger than my community, but so it's just there to help you. I mean, even ESL classes, ELL classes, there's content in there that can help your students. Okay, so I would love to connect with all of you, especially because we have a few resources that we're already saying that we're going to share. Okay, so scan this QR code, and if your phone can't catch it, it's also on the top of the little paper that I gave to you. So Friends Online, scan this QR code, and you're gonna just type in your name and your email address, and then I have it set up to automatically send you an email, and it's just gonna be a great way for us to connect. I send out free resources, okay, and things that are new videos on my YouTube channel. I'm also sending out a student retention checklist, because in Wyoming, we have a problem with student retention. They just keep staying instead of going. And so, but really we want to keep our students. So I'm sending this out automatically to you. So make sure you check your junk mail, because sometimes these end up in your spam folder. Okay, everyone get that if they needed it? Okay, so let's move on. Here's where we're gonna go. First, to go from good to great in teaching, we need to reignite the passion that we have for teaching. And then I'm just gonna share with you practical applications. We're going to do a great teachers marketplace, but we're gonna do it a little modified since we're kind of in close quarters here. And then we're going to go from moving from good to great, the action plan. Remember, like I told you, this is about you gaining a couple of things so that when you leave this room, you can start implementing things right away. So we're going to need that action plan. Okay, so first, starting off with reigniting the passion for teaching, right? So what I want you to do, do we have any more of those papers? Did everyone in person get a paper? If you are online, and I haven't uploaded the papers yet, but I will be very soon. But just, take a couple notes. The slides, the note, everything will be provided online. Okay, so on here, you can feel free to take notes wherever you want, but I do have this sort of as a guide to help you along. So the first thing is reflect on your why. Okay, so I want you to think about, what is your personal motivation for being a teacher? Anyone want to share? There's I just kind of fell into this, or I needed a job and this job showed up. But what is the real deep reason why you teach adult education? Anyone want to share? Okay, yes, please share.
Okay, so it gets a little personal, real personal. So my mom was a teen mom. She got married when she was 15, had my sister and I. And then when she was 28, she went back to school and got her GED. I went to college because someone invested time in her. And as a child, my whole life changed. Like, she went to child development classes and we stopped getting spankings. So, but just living the change as a child by my mother becoming educated, I want to pass that on to other families.
I love that. Thank you, Dana, for sharing. Okay, also let's think about student impact and even your personal growth. I don't know about you, but since I've been teaching adult education classes, I feel like I have so much more empathy and compassion. Would you all agree? Way more than I had before. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take just a moment to set some meaningful goals. Okay, so I want you to think about 3 goals that you have. And so in person folks, on here, you've got it on the sheet. Online folks, just write it on paper. It's fine. So what is a short-term goal that you have in your teaching? So let's say by the end of the school year, so maybe May, what is a goal that you have between now and May regarding your teaching? Okay, so I'm going to give you just a second to write. Need a pen. Here's a pen right here. Okay, anyone want to share their goal? Friends online, Zoomies, type in the chat. What is your short-term goal that you have for teaching? And again, we're trying to, make it, not just make it to the end of the year, but you're trying to be a little bit better going from good to great. Who wants to share? What is your goal? Thank you.
Mine is to add more of what the students want to learn into my lesson. So I kind of plan stuff, but I ask them at the beginning of the term, like, what are things that you want to learn, no matter how random or specific they are to each person. I have to do some research sometimes. Somebody wanted to just learn names of tools and things that could help them in their job, or how to get a CDL license, or construction information, or just something as simple as like fun things to do in Pennsylvania since they're new to the area. So when I kind of have like a blank on like what can I do or what lesson can I plan, I'm trying to like slowly implement, go back to my list of what I got from them to add into. So it makes it more specific for them. And I was telling them like, this isn't just what I want to teach. This is what you really want to learn and get out of it. So trying to just slowly add in more of those things.
Thank you. I love that. Definitely going from good to great, right? Okay, so now we're going to do long-term goals. So let's think about between now and next year next year at this time. So let's say between now and next COABE, what is a goal that you have that will help you elevate your teaching from good to great? Okay, I'll give you just a minute. Friends online, type it in the chat, and then I will read what you're saying, okay? If my computer works. Oh, the internet's not working. Okay, anyone want to share a long-term goal that you have? Please.
One of our long-term goals for our program is to introduce GED calculator math boot camps. So that's one of the big ones, since that's one of the things that our students really struggle with. So we were going to try and add those.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. I have a YouTube video on that. Needs to be redone. It's a little bit of an older video, but check that video out. Okay. And it can really help your students. I actually had someone just comment and say the best thing they learned from my videos was how to use a calculator. So I love that. That's something we all could do, right? Implement a calculator boot camp. That could be like 2 short days. right? If knowing how to use the calculator, very, very important. Okay, so online friends, I seem to be having an issue with my, oh, here we go, here we go. The chat's running. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we're gonna do one more, but I'm gonna have you do it on your own. We're not gonna do it right now, but think about like a student-centered goal that you could maybe come up with. Okay, so now another thing you can do, which you're already doing, this is a huge step in going from good to great, and that is seeking professional development. Here we are at COABE. So when you go back home, again, try and implement a few of the things that you have learned. So continuous learning, mentorship. Any of you have a mentorship in your program that helps new teachers? I love that. My program, that's one of my takeaways. We need to really focus on developing a mentorship program. And then networking. Hopefully you had a chance to network with other people, get to know other people, and really get a few ideas. Okay, so we're gonna be, oh, okay, no. Here's another chat, okay? So it does get a little bit noisy in here, so sorry about that. We're in a small room. But friends online, I want you to type this in the chat. But in a perfect world, what would help you do your job better? So I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes to answer this question with a buddy. Okay, go ahead. Okay, if you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. It's amazing how well that works. Okay, so we're gonna let the online people discuss first. So we have here more time. Anyone else say more time? Yeah, a lot of people. More resources. Yes. I like what Michael says, a higher salary. I can certainly use that. Absolutely. So delegation, more like data testing personnel so that you can focus more on teaching. That's what Kathleen said. More dedication from the students. Camille, you missed my last session, which was motivating students. More student engagement, funding for more e-learning resources. I think we can all agree with many of those. Does anyone else in person have anything else to add? What would help you do your job better? Okay, yeah, let's hear from back here. What would help you do your job better?
If we had more counselors to work with the students when they have an issue, like right then, not we need to wait a little bit or we've got to get somebody in. If they could do it right then, that would help solve a lot of problems.
I agree. And the counselors that are trained, not you and me, right? Yes, I love that would really help with my job too. You had another one?
We're a nonprofit program, so a lot of our stuff is volunteer based. So we would love to have more volunteers willing to jump in and help, and that would be great.
For sure. I don't know. So I'm located in I'm located very closely to Salt Lake City, and we have Mormon missionaries. So if that's something that they come in and they sometimes help in our ESL classes, especially, that might be something that where you're living, you could reach out to the LDS church, and sometimes they have missionaries that will, and when the missionaries come, they're not trying to spread their religion, or spread their faith. They're just in there helping with language. But that's a really great resource. I mean, being close to Utah, we do maybe have more than you might in your community, but that's a really great place to get volunteers. Anyone else want to share what would help you do your job a little better? No? Oh yes, please. Last one.
Maybe implementing strategic programs that could address the barriers our students face often and that impede their, performance.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just chime in on that. One thing that we do with our students to help them with barriers is we have them, okay, in a class, let's come up with a list of the barriers that you have in your class, or what's going to prevent you from learning English or ultimately getting your GED or your high set. And then we have them come up with, okay, here are all the things that are going to get in our way. And then we put poster boards up, or like poster sheets like this, and then have them brainstorm solutions. And that kind of helps them think out of the box, think together. And that's been helpful for my program. Okay, so now we're going to go over practical tools for the classroom. These are things that I do. Like I told you, I'm not a great teacher. I'm a good teacher that's always trying to improve, just like all of you. So take one or two of these if you want, and then we're going to discuss other ones that you all are doing in your classrooms. Okay, so the first is the positive classroom culture. What does your classroom look like? So here I am, and I have all these positive posters. Okay, do you have posters in your room that are encouraging positivity with your students? I kind of like this one here that says, I've got this, because some of the other ones like say you, like this one, trust yourself, you can do this. But I need to redo it so that it's in that I form, because when you read it, you need to read it like, I've got this, like you're saying it to yourself. And so I kind of like when they have conversations like that. I will send out these posters to all of you. If I don't, remind me. Okay, so when you're on my email list. So really that welcoming environment. What does your classroom look like? Sort of think about how like a kindergarten classroom, how there's all that color going on. Now we're an adult program, so we don't want it to look like a kindergarten classroom. We want to keep it so it looks like an adult classroom, but we don't want it to look like this room here. Can you imagine trying to study in this room? It would be horrible, just horrible, right? Not inviting at all. Okay, also think about, student engagement, interacting with your students, that positive reinforcement. Do you guys give your students high fives or knuckle bumps or anything? Yeah, they love that, right? Do you ever give your students prizes? Like if you're playing Kahoot or something? My students lately, they've really liked trying to like steer away from like candy. So I have a box with stickers and like office supplies, like pens, sticky notes, random things that, okay, you win a Kahoot, you get to grab something from this. Or one time I was decluttering my house and I brought all sorts of random stuff. They loved it, right? They loved all the random things from my house. Okay, this poster here, again, going with posters, really, really important, right? Fail. Our students sometimes feel like failures. We know they're not, but they sometimes feel like failures. People have told them that they're failures. So here, fail, first attempt in learning. I try and remind my students that it's just first attempt in learning, right? We all fail. It's okay. And then we go over these famous failures. This is something that we do in the first week of our classes, where we have like an onboarding front end class. We go over these, remind them, like what happens if these people would have given up, right? If the Beatles if they would have given up after being rejected, we wouldn't have their great music, right? Walt Disney, if he gave up, things would be a lot different. Okay, so in our program, we have structured classes. And this is one of the key things that took our program from our state from being ranked 35th down to 5th. Okay, structured classes. So really, this is providing consistency in learning. Even in our smaller programs, we have many outreach sites where they just have a couple of students. They still have the structured classes. So consistency in learning, diverse learning opportunities. We're able to provide them more unique things. It's really going to be, we're having enhanced engagement, students working together, which we know students do better. They learn more when they are working together, not independently. And it's easier on the teacher. If you have a lab setting, which is how it used to be for us before we had structured classes, and mind you, I live in a small community, right? So I used to have students come in, this is when we're open, they would come in, they would work independently. And what would I be doing? I would be running around like crazy, helping all these students. That is ineffective. We need to bring them together into classes. Much more effective. They will keep coming. Your retention will be higher if you have structured classes. And so I guess back with the structured classes, we have reading from this time to this time, language from this time to this time, math this time to this time. So this is just how our students do it. We have our daytime classes. If they aren't able to do the daytime classes, then we have nighttime classes. And it's worked out really well for us for the past 10 years. And we have waiting lists for people to come into our classes. And I live in a small community of 25,000 people. Okay, so I love this. This is creative gratitude. This is actually a concept that maybe you're already doing something like this, but you've never given a name to it. Creative gratitude is really just a unique way of showing your students that you care. Okay, so doing something that is extra special for them. Okay, so here are some things that I do for creative gratitude. I showed you the picture before of our graduation ceremony where I make cupcakes, right? For everybody, cupcakes for everybody. But I actually do that every single week. Every week I bake something, or maybe it's not baking. I'm trying to go healthy with my students, but maybe I'll arrange fruit on a beautiful platter, or have deviled eggs. My students love deviled eggs. I don't know why, but they do. I bake them a treat every week, and they look forward to it. Every week, they're probably feeling a little bummed out because today's Tuesday and I normally bring them treats and I'm not there. So when I get home, I'll have to double up the treats or something, but that's something I do. Another thing that I do for my students is I make lip balm. Okay, and so this is like a lip balm that it's like a Burt's Bees quality. You go to the vendor sessions, you pick up a lip balm, it's not going to be very high quality, right? This is high quality lip balm. Okay, so I'm sorry, friends online. Okay, maybe just turn it on mute for just a second. I don't want you to get jealous. Okay, everyone in person, I made you all a lip balm. Okay, it's peppermint lip balm. There are the ingredients down below. So I'm gonna pass around this little bag. There should be enough for everyone. Let me actually, I have a few more. If I hope there's enough. This is Okay, so we're going to just, let's just pass it around. Okay, everybody gets a lip balm. Here, I'll grab where's Cuban? Okay, so and then also kind words, encouragement. So this all reflects my personality. Okay, in my personality, I like to make things, but maybe you could do something different. So I want you to take just a minute and on your sheet here we have creative gratitude. How could you have creative gratitude? How could you share something really nice with your student that reflects you and your way of being thankful with your students? Okay, so just think for a second what you might do, and then we can go around and ask. So friends online, what is some sort of creative gratitude that you could do for your students? Okay, does anyone have any ideas of what you could do? Oh, here, Estera says baking. They love baked goods. They really do. Okay, what could you do?
So my community is very impoverished and there's a lot of big need. So what we do in our classroom is, so I usually have a few key members in my classroom and they bring food. So it's not me bringing everything because that gets a little prohibitive. It's one time this one will go to Taco Bell and get a 12 pack of tacos and just bring it in. And they just set it there on the table and they say, you know, hey, if you're hungry, grab something. Some of those people haven't eaten yet today. And it's a real easy, non-threatening way for them to get something to eat. And somebody else will bring in cookies and somebody else will, and it's not just me doing it all, but it's because sometimes it's as important for them to give to each other as to get from me. So I do that a lot in my classroom. It also makes it a really good team environment where it's not me, it's us. You know, so
I love
that's
that. Anyone else have anything to share? Okay, I'm gonna let these other people go because you already went. Okay,
Well,
you.
at our, we're housed at a college, so, we have probably about 10 people on staff. So I created a hospitality. So I use the, National Day, you know, every day is something. It's Oreo Day, so once a month, I'll pick whatever it is when they're having class, and whatever that day is, the staff come together and we go around. I make sure all my students have it, and then I'll go to other different places. You know, it may be cosmetology this time, it may be the nursing department, but I never take any of it home. It always go to a student.
Thank you. Did someone back here have something? Yes.
We have a wall of fame in the classroom where we put their pictures up. So those that have passed 1, 2, or 3 GED tests, those that have passed all their tests, those that have made MSG gains. And so their picture gets taken and put up.
Love that. Thank you. And over here, yes, please.
So I work in DOC, so we cannot give our students anything. So when they do pass the high set, what I've done with my guys is they get a taco and it just has their subject that they passed. And then once they have 5 tacos, then they're passed and they like to take them back with them. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't give them no baked goods, nothing. No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Let's see if any of our Zoomies have anything else to add. Oh dear, so bring holiday parties. Oh my gosh, they love holiday parties. Candy bags, gift cards, food, gift baskets. Bring food and having them pick the music. Watch out when you have them pick the music. I can't even tell you what we were listening to the other day. Holiday parties with educational games. So I even like not even necessarily just holiday parties, but we do like an end of the quarter party. So we do parties frequently. They love parties, right? They love them so much. Okay, so another thing, we actually talked about this in my last class, and that is teacher quirks. So you said over there, silly holidays, I do it all the time, you know, kind of like we just did that April Fool's Day joke right at the beginning. I like to do songs in math or in everything. So there's a song from the 1980s called How Do I Get You Alone? Do you guys know that song? It's like, I always use my marker as a microphone, but I actually have a microphone this time. So it's like, how do I get you alone? So what I do is when we're doing algebra, you know, let's say we're trying to figure out what x is. So let's say it says 2x equals 6. So I look at the x and I sing that song to the x. And then, all right, I need to try and figure out how to isolate the variable, get that x by itself. And so my students, they think about that. And it's so funny because I do that on my YouTube channel. And sometimes people tell me that they're using that. Okay, songs, everything, and you know, other classes where we can implement it, they will use it. Okay. Happy 3-day weekend. So we only have class Monday through Thursday. So we have Friday off. And so we're always doing our happy 3-day weekend dance. Happy 3-day weekend, happy 3-day weekend. The students love it. They don't at first, but I make them all raise their hand, and you know, I don't let them leave. It's kind of like their exit ticket, and then they're like, happy 3-day weekend. But then they get into it a little bit more. Okay. I have an easy button. Okay. Anyone else have an easy button? Does yours just say that was easy, or does it say a whole bunch of other things too? Okay, good. Because I used to have another one that said other things, and it was frustrating to me because I just wanted it to say that was easy. So sometimes when a student says they're doing something, it clicks and they say, oh, that was easy. Then I'm like, here's the easy button. And they press it. That was easy. And it's really fun. Okay, Kahoot. You guys play Kahoot, yes? Oh my gosh, you don't play Kahoot? Oh, you need to, like, if there's anything you get from this, you need to play Kahoot. Okay. Okay, write that down. If you're not playing Kahoot, start playing Kahoot because your students love it. It's one of their favorite things. So, Kahoot, there are 2 types of teachers. There's the type of teacher like my coworker, Christy. I love her dearly, but she gets annoyed by the music and she turns the music off. My daughter, who's in 3rd grade, didn't even know that Kahoot had music. Okay. What I do is I turn the music up and I dance to it, right? So dancing to the Kahoot music, that's just a quirk. These are my quirks. What quirks do you have? So online Zoomies, type in the chat, tell us what kind of teaching quirks you have. And then we're going to go around and other people are going to say, what is a quirk that you have that makes your teaching unique? Okay, over here.
When my students get frustrated over math, we all want to go, oh, you know, so I have a little screaming goat. And you push the little screaming goat when you're mad, just because it makes you laugh and it doesn't make you angry anymore. So
Well, I have a reason now to use my screaming goat. You have a flying squirrel. Tell us more.
I don't use it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little rubber band, like with the hands, and you pull him, and he flies, and then he lands and goes, ah!
Oh my gosh. Now you need to start using it in your class. Okay, what other quirks do you have in your teaching? Anyone else? Yes, please.
When I'm covering percents and we get to talking about the bass, I usually end up singing all about that bass.
And they love it. And now whenever they hear the song, they think about percents. And whenever they see percents, they think about that song. I love it. Okay, what else? Stupid math jokes. There are so many of them. Yes. Yes. Let's see if our Zoomies have anything Nothing to add. That's okay. That's okay. Or else my page isn't refreshed. That could be it too. Okay. Any other quirks that you have? Things that make you unique. Okay, we'll go here, here, and then there, and then we'll move on. Thank you.
Also have a percent, we sing Beyonce. We say we Beyonce it. To the left, when we move our decimal twice. So that's what we do. And they
I'm
do that.
gonna I'm totally gonna do that. Thank you. Thank you. I told you that this session is just as much for me to gain things as it is for you. Okay, what is your quirk that you do?
For the when they get a test, when they finish a test, pass a test, I ring a cowbell. So I have a cowbell and you can hear it all the way down. And one of the students, one time I did it on the phone and she hung up on me. I don't know who that was.
I have a cowbell. Thank you. I'll start using it. Oh, mine are just these little ones. I almost brought it today. Okay.
Cowbell when they pass a test.
Yes, they love that. Okay, what have you got for us? What quirky things?
Just one. I teach dental assistant and that involves anatomy, which they hate. And when the class environment gets a little tense, I pause, I tell dental jokes. And when I run out of them, I just tell dad jokes. And then they chime in and that releases all the tension in the class.
I love that. Humor is so important in our adult ed classes, right? Okay. All right. Oh, what do you do for older students? I do the same thing. Like the older students, they get exactly what the younger students get in my classroom for sure. And then, are they going to roll their eyes at me? Absolutely. But you know what? It makes them engaged. It makes them keep coming, right? Okay. So here's something else that I like to do in my classroom every day, every class, every day. And that is I have warm-ups. So these are the warm-ups that I do in each of my classes. I'm not going to go through each one, but in my reading class, we have a fast fluency. I'm trying to get my students to read faster. We also sometimes do vocabulary or some sort of reading comprehension where there's a sheet and they answer questions. They know every day we have a warm-up before we start our lesson. So many of our students, they have short attention spans. So my class is 50 minutes long and I break it into sections. So I might do the warm up for like 15 minutes and then I might do actually teach them for like 15 minutes and then they have 20 minutes where they're working in groups. Okay, that would be like my standard day and then implementing all these quirks and other things within, but really breaking my class into different sections. I'm not up there talking the whole time. Okay, writing, we do a quick write sometimes, or else we practice an everyday edit using just practicing editing. Math, we do word problems with minute math, practice questions, brain teasers, and then generally we do a circle or a question of the day. So a couple times a week we ask a question and everyone goes around and answers the question. That really develops that sense of community and having my students work together and keep coming. And sort of a check-in, like, how are you doing today? Or, when someone comes in late for class, I'll be like, oh, I'm glad you made it or something like that. Okay, so here's my question for you. When does 9 plus 5 equal 2? This is one of our brain teasers. So think about it. When does 9 plus 5 equal 2? Anybody know? When you divide by 7, we're not adding extra numbers. Sorry. I love the way you're thinking. Try again.
Is it just when you're counting the number of digits? Excellent. 9 is a digit 5.
Oh, that's really good. But no, that's not it. It's when we're talking about time. So 9 a.m. plus 5 hours is 2 p.m. There we go. They like doing these, but it's kind of a love-hate relationship with these math brain teasers. But I thought we'd try it out, see how you guys did. Shaquana got it on a clock. Way to go. If you were here, I would give you a bonus lip balm. But I'm sorry, if you're here in person and you come find me, I'll give you a bonus lip balm. Okay, so whenever my students are writing on the board, and so I bring my students up a lot, especially in my math class. Maybe I do a few, and then I might have one of the students come up and try and explain it, or maybe they just write it and I explain it, or else I write it and they explain it. And then when they do a good job, I say, oh, look at this, future adult ed teacher. And then, most of the time they roll their eyes, but it gives them, maybe being an adult ed teacher would be good for me. And I actually had one student that really took on to that, and she she made some progress. I don't think she actually finished her. In Wyoming, you have to have a bachelor's degree to become a teacher, and I don't think she didn't end up finishing her bachelor's degree. But you never know, right? We're always trying to recruit in the field, future adult ed teachers. Okay, guest speakers. That's something every week we bring in a guest speaker. So I will actually be back on Thursday teaching, and we're bringing in a guest speaker that is an OB nurse. So a labor and delivery nurse. She's coming in and she's going to be our guest speaker on Thursday. And we bring guest speakers of all sorts of fields. Okay, so the mayor comes in and talks to our students. We try and have sometimes GED graduates. So cybersecurity professor, he was a GED graduate. The biology professor, he went from his GED to a PhD. Then we've also brought in Army National Guard, sensible nutrition. I think that's spelled wrong. Don't mind that. The YWCA comes in and she talks to us a little bit about financial empowerment. And we have industry partners come in from the local mines and such, based on where I'm located. The pipe fitters union has come in before, had a plumber, when our students indicate that they're interested in a specific field, we have someone come in and be a guest speaker in that field. And we actually do it, we take our students to lunch at the college cafeteria. But because we're bringing in a guest speaker, it's considered a networking event. And so with our partnership with Workforce Services, WIOA, they pay for it. Okay, so we take our students to lunch on their dime. It's great. The students love it. And so do we. I get a free lunch every week. Okay, so I just want to go over a couple of my favorite resources, my favorite online resources that I like. So Kahoot, I already told you, if you take away anything, take away Kahoot. And also, you guys, I will send these slides out. Take the pictures, but just know that if you sign up for my email list, I will send out the slides, and I'll also put them on Whova. But sometimes when I get an email, it might be a little easier than to go back into Whova. IXL, if you use that, 10 free questions per browser per day. That's a pretty good one. Canva, I like to use. It has computer skills, and it can do cool things like that. Or, and that, I just learned that yesterday. It brings me so much joy. My students are going to be so excited, or at least they'll be excited that I'm excited. Canva, I use things all the time with my students in Canva, working, maybe on presentations, but also resumes in Canva, vision boards. It's a great resource, and it's free for students, and it's free for teachers. Everyday Edits, it's an online site. I have a love-hate relationship with this one because there's so many ads and I can't handle the ads. So I've actually had my students help me create everyday edits that I will happily share with all of you so that we don't have to deal with their ads. high set GED practice test questions. So that lets the students know what to expect. On my YouTube channel, I also have I go over many practice tests. So, my course, Purely Persistent. So that's my, my online education business. So on YouTube, completely free. I refer it to my students all the time as maybe in class or as homework, watching those practice tests to help them. And then I also have my Purely Persistent Academy. There's a small fee, but that is something that really helps people with ready to go lessons. Like, okay, you have to teach about checks and balances, the most important thing to know on the social studies test. Well, here I have slides ready for you, a video if you want to show the video with your students, guided notes, extra practice, quizzes, all sorts of things that are in there. And on my email list, I'll give you more information about that in a couple weeks. So those are a few resources that I have that are my favorite. We have here 9 minutes left. And this is where I wanted to go in and do our Great Teachers Marketplace, where we talk about different things, but because of the orientation of this classroom, we're not going to. So what I want to do is I want you to take just a couple of minutes, and we're going to get together in like small groups like we were before. And I want you to just think about what are a couple of things that your group that you feel like is really effective, that has helped you go from being a good teacher to a great teacher, that you feel like that the whole class, that that everyone in here could really benefit from. Okay, so these are just a couple of ideas. So maybe engagement strategies or warm-ups, or how do you maximize classroom time, your favorite resources, using technology or implementing technology, creative teaching strategies, maybe life skills. Those are just a couple of ideas to spark the conversation. So I am going to give us, I'm not going to give us 5 minutes. So forget that 5-minute sign. We'll just, we'll get rid of the 5 minutes. So for just a couple of minutes, and then I mostly want us to just be chatting. So online friends, type in the chat, tell us what some of your best resources that we have got to know, share with us. Okay, so a couple of minutes, then we'll go around with the microphone and talk about it. Okay, if you can. Okay, thank you. I hope that there were some really good conversations that were happening. And of course, you can continue the conversation after class. But here are some things that folks online said. So, Juliet says, I like to use visuals to get conversations going. Shaquana says, chat GTP from lesson planning to quick worksheet or PowerPoint creation. Damien, I help with the Spanish HiSET program, and I was able to see growth within the students after finding a couple of YouTube channels that reviewed the materials in Spanish. Sorry, I can't review the materials in Spanish. I need to work on that. Kathleen says, I love using Khan Academy, not necessarily for the videos, but when I teach online. I love that they have digital manipulatives I can move around for math demonstrations. And then Kevin says, Math Antics is a great resource for GED HSE test teaching. It has a free version. The full version is $20 a year. And the full version can be shared with one student for free and no cost to the student or teacher. Absolutely. Another really great resource. Okay. We have 4 minutes. Let's go from good to great in 4 minutes. What have we got? Okay, starting in the back.
Could you repeat the name of the song about the fractions?
Oh, the fraction. Oh, it's all about the base, No troubles or something like that. Okay, who wants to help us go from good to great? Good to great. Last resource sharing. Good to great. Come on, the online people did a great job. Let's have us in-person people. Okay, here, tell us in the microphone.
Cool math lessons. They are good. Cool math with a C. It's very great. It even has vocabulary.
Thank you. Cool math lessons. What else? So maybe engagement or warm up or maximize. What did you talk about? What do you have to share? Yes, please.
I like the score boost because it contextualizes the learning to where you can do the main idea across, science, social studies, and reading. And so they're just getting it all under that umbrella.
Absolutely. Yeah. Have score boost. We use score boost as well. Anyone else have to share? Yes, please.
We do vocabulary.com and we make them do the high impact vocabulary words for each subject and make index cards, study cards. And then I designed a Kahoot that they go and they study up with, and they love doing that at home.
I love that. Okay, anything else? Do we have anything else online? Cool math again. Schoolyourself.org is better than Khan. For some people have developed, it started with Khan Academy, I think. Okay, PhET simulations. So that one is for, I think it's for geometry, right? PhET simulations, good for geometry. So it's PhET simulations. Oh, schoolyourself.org. Oh, okay. So the PhET simulation has math and science. So phet.colorado.edu. Anything else? Yes, please.
Sorry. So my students actually told me it's called Vertasium, and it is a YouTube channel, and it has a bunch of science on there. So I haven't checked it out because I just recently found out about it. And then Vertasium, and then there's also Get Factual, which is
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to send you all an email, and I would like to develop a collection of all of our best resources, all of the things that we can do to help us elevate from good to great. And so please respond to this email with some of your favorite things. Maybe I'll make like a shared drive or something, and then we can all put our favorite things in there to share. Okay, looks like it is 1 o'clock on the money. Thank you all so much for being here. It was a pleasure to meet you all. And most importantly, thank you so much for devoting your time, your energy, your life work into adult education. You are blessing not only your students, but the entire world. So keep up the good work, you guys. I appreciate it. Okay. You're welcome. Enjoy your lip balm and stay purely persistent, everyone. Okay, my Zoomies, thank you for being here. Goodbye, and I will see you later.